Morning and welcome to the shop. We're going to be making some dice boxes in this video for the YMIAT Tavern guys. I've already got them all done at this point in time. I didn't really have a tripod till a few days ago. I'd already gotten them done and had mailed them out before I actually got it to actually do this intro to the video. But I'll put some pictures up of the finished boxes at the very end, and we'll see if we can't go through and get, show you as much as I can throughout the video that I was able to get while I was making all these boxes. So hope you enjoy. Alright guys, I know the lighting is shit and probably the sound and audio is too, but this is going to be this is a chunk of cedar I got mounted up here in the lathe. I've already got it turned around. I've gotten this top part actually smoothed off about as much as I'm actually going to do with the actual lathe tools before I start sanding and trying to finish it all out and everything. Next part I'm going to be working on is actually hollowing out the inside here for the box after I actually cut down and shape me a lid out of the top portion of this, so then cut that off so I've got the actual lid to go down over top of it, and I'm going to make sure that it actually fits pretty tight down on the inside of this. But I would be showing you actually how I'm working and what I'm doing with all the tools while I'm going along with this, but I have no way to hold my phone and actually record it while I'm doing this at this time. So unless I can get a cameraman in here, which I'll probably wrangle one of my kids for later on in the video. So until I can get the cameraman in here or figure out a way to make me a stand or anything like that, you're just going to have to go with me stopping in between, telling you what I've done, going through everything like that, and the actual physical showings is going to have to wait for a little bit later, maybe even the next video. So there's the lid as it comes off, sanded up like I said to a 400 grit. And I actually like the way this thing's turning out, just with the kind of off-center grain pattern, how everything else kind of flows around it, just how it came off of this chunk here. Alright, I got a little carried away with what I was doing and kind of forgot to record a whole bunch of stuff, but you cannot see crap inside there. Let me get this light turned on. And that's even worse. Hold on. There we go. Now you can see the inside of it. I haven't sanded anything down, but I've got everything hollowed out. You can see about how deep it is right there. And then, of course, how wide it actually is right here. I'm going to cut it off about right here. So that's going to be the bottom of it right there. First, I got to get some sanding done on it. I've already got the outside smoothed down as much as I can with the tools, as well as the inside, except for a little bit of those grooves right there. And it looks like I might have to run around the bottom of that one good time. Well, I don't know. I'll see what the sanding does and see how good that does and see how it comes out after that. Here she is, all sanded up to a nice 400 grit. That thing is just about as smooth as glass all the way around the outside. And as well as, get the light back on here, turn you over to the side so you can actually see, because I have to use that thing to actually be able to see inside here. But the inside is smooth. The only thing on the bottom is those little catches that I had in the bottom, but they'll actually get filled in with the finish that I'm going to apply to it. But we got that all nice and smoothed out. Got me a little lip in there for the actual lid to sit on when I get it done. And I've actually got to change the lid a little bit on this one because the lid that I turned when I was doing this one had a little bit of a catch, and so the lid is actually now the same size as the actual pot here. But we can fix that. That's not actually a big deal. What we were going to do to actually fix this lid here is I've taken just a little bit of epoxy in that base that we just cut the actual bowl off of. I'll show you that here in a second. But I just took a little bit of epoxy and then centered the lid up as best I could. And it's on the, yes, I know the epoxy's on the top, but there's actually going to be something covering that up. So that's just a little surprise for the guys here at the end of the video. And then we'll see if we can't get over here and get this box. There we are. And there's the actual box as it's come off. See if I can get the light a little bit better. Let you get that pattern down there in the bottom. But that pattern turned out just wonderful down there in the bottom. And once I get this finished, it'll actually darken up all the outside and all the inside. I love working with cedar just for this fact right here. It's a nice red color. And here on the bottom, get off there, dust. Hand sanded all the way up to 400 grit here on the bottom. And as we're going through, and I'm turning this to get rid of that damn chip that came out of it, I'll go ahead and, yeah, it's actually gotten a little bit bigger. It's following that grain pattern there. But once it actually gets done and we get all that squared away, I'll show you how we're gonna. I don't know how much of that actually recorded because I was accidentally holding down the power button on my phone. But you can see here, take the box, slide it on the lid while it's still on the lathe here. That way you don't have to keep taking it off, testing it, putting it back on, and all that. But there it is. It's got a nice tight fit to it. I can turn it all the way around. And there you go. Morning all. I've gotten this little piece, which is what we actually had well, actually it's the bottom of the piece that we actually cut the bowl off of yesterday. And yes, it is the next day because it was about 10:30 last night when I had that lid explode on me. So I decided I'd just calm down, come back out here in the morning and get a fresh start on it. But now, since this one here, I've actually got, let me set this down here where I can actually work a little bit better. I've actually got 2-inch screws holding the faceplate onto this block here. Those are actually 2-inch screws going all the way down in there, which means they come down in this block to about right there. So I can't really work off of this block because I don't want to take the chance of, while I'm turning it and doing anything like that and hitting one of those screws with my tools, because that would not be good. So what I'm actually going to do is this other block of cedar that I've got, which was the bottom off of one, you can see the screw holes from the faceplate there. The bottom off of another piece, I'm going to take this, get it mounted and glued onto that piece there. So we got something like that going on. Then it's going to, then I'm going to take it and then turn the new lid for Joe's box out of this piece. And the good thing about that one exploding on me last night, it actually gave me a better idea. Instead of actually having a hole there and actually making a finial and putting inside of it, I'm going to use something a little bit different but more fitting for the top of this one. Here is the actual box. I went ahead and got one coat of epoxy on it last night before I came inside, which I still got, which is just the inside and the outside, and you can see there around the top and the spots around on the inside. It needs one more good coat and my little fingerprint there, just because I was checking it this morning to make sure it was already, it had cured enough and it was still a little tacky, so of course my fingerprint still stuck there to the bottom. But the outside here, this thing is turning out beautiful. Nice shine on it. Get it sanded down a little bit, get another coat on the inside and the outside. Oh crap, dust. I think this, is that dust? Is that dust? Yeah, crap, I got a spot of dust sticking to it, but the sanding ought to take care of that. But all in all, starting to look pretty good. Got it mounted up here in the lathe, and I actually went over, set my calipers, dividers, I don't know, whatever in the hell you actually call these damn things. But set it for the outside of the bowl over there, looking at it, box, bowl, whatever. And I need to go just below this outer ring right here, which actually, getting it on here, I noticed that it's got a little bit of a wobble when I go to turn it on, or when I'm going to turn it. Let's see if I can get this thing to start turning. There we go. It's just got a little bit of a wobble in it as it's going along. So that just means that this piece is not true round to this piece that I've glued it to, that I've got the faceplate on. But little quick, slow speed on the lathe so it actually doesn't wobble and cause a whole bunch of vibrations and problems on here. We can just turn this round, so then this piece will be true to this piece, and then I can actually work on sizing it down and shaping the lid, the new lid, to fit the actual box that we have over there for it. There we have it. So you've got the box with the lid there done. Still got to get the coating on the lid. I need to get that pencil mark out of there. Where the hell did that come from? One there too. I don't know. That might not be pencil marks. No, that actually looks like it's part of the grain. Alright. But anyway, this is going to actually get sanded up and covered off. It's just where I had to epoxy it back onto the piece there to finish off the bottom side. Bottom side. It's got a couple of holes in it, but the epoxy will fill that in. And nice and smooth, up to 400 grit. Had to go back and hand sand the top, but I still got some to get down past that little epoxy mark there. Actually, that might cover up. That might cover up when I get the rest of it done in epoxy. I don't know. I'll have to check that out and see what it does. But then the bottom of the box side, just got to epoxy the top. One more coat on the inside and outside, and get all the crap out of it that just landed in it while I was turning the lid there. But that one, other than some super glue and a little special part for the top there, that one's done. Hey guys, we're getting the next one here glued up for you. This one here is actually going to be for tug, and I'm going to have cedar on the bottom, piece of, what is that? Pretty sure that's pine, and then a piece of poplar up here at the top. So this is actually going to be a mixed bag here, but it's probably going to end about right here on this one once I actually get the top and everything cut off of this one. And yes, I just took a bunch of pieces because it's raining outside and I don't feel like going and cutting another piece of cedar out in the rain. This one actually turned out almost exactly how I wanted it to. It kind of looks like a barrel. I've got it already sanded down to the 320 grit. Got the lid there for it, which I'm actually, that hole there will be covered up by the top part, so I'm not even going to worry about it. Had a little problem on the bottom here. Where I turned everything to round and then started parting it off, where I parted it off in order to keep it from cutting into the actual bottom side of the box here. It had to take part of the other piece with it, and then I had to go back with a handsaw and cut all of that off, which is why you see all the lines back and forth here that I just didn't even think I really needed to get out, because it kind of just adds some character to the bottom of it. But that'll be the one for Kurt. And I'm kind of happy with it, even though this one here I've had the most problems with so far. And it is definitely like tug, because this thing has been a glass cannon. I have glued this thing back together 3 times since I've had it on the lathe, just trying to get it done. It's a few days later and we're trying to, well, number one, get work done and all that, but also I made up another blank here. This is resin and cedar shavings and a few blocks of wood inside there, as well as this one that I put on the top, in order to have something to actually mount it to the lathe and the faceplate on. But I don't know if this is going to come out of this pot without breaking this pot or not. So let me get to that and we'll see if this thing knocks on out of here, or if I'm going to have to break all the plastic off the side of it. Well, that was a load of fun. Alright, we got the thing out of the little plastic pot thing that I had it put in. Just a little Betty Crocker thing, something cheap that hopefully my wife won't be too mad about losing. But anyway, we got that all kicked out of there. I'm about to see if we can't get the faceplate on the end of it and see what this thing is actually going to turn like on the lathe. I'm expecting it to be really damn wobbly when I first get it on there. And here we have it mounted up in the lathe, which it doesn't actually seem like it's going to be all that bad wobbly. But I haven't actually turned this thing on yet. So, yeah, I'm going to move it down to the lowest speed. Just give me... That's interesting trying to do with one hand. There we are. So now, see, yeah, mine's not a electronically adjustable speed. Mine is definitely variable speed with having to set all these belts and gears. But let's see. A little wobbly. Let's see what it actually does when I get this thing, or start trying to cut this thing and get it turned down and around. Got the top here flattened out on this part, and it actually made kind of a cool effect right there with that piece of cedar that I've got right here sticking through right there, but covering it up right here. So I think I'm actually going to have to turn this down even more here just to get it more of a uniform, because you can't tell it's thinner at the top than it is down here at the bottom. If I get it all turned down to one size, I'll even take a little bit more off right here to get it down to just this cedar. And I think that will actually make it kind of cool as the lid coming down for the rest of this here. I was hoping it would turn down past some of these bubbles, like that one right there, some of these right here, which just have left holes in the resin here. But it doesn't look like, it seems like the more I try and turn it down to get rid of one, the more I open up with all these little ones popping up in here and all that. So I may have to go, I may actually have to come back and put in some more of the resin sawdust stuff just to kind of fill in some of these going around. Or they might make it look kind of cool. I haven't quite decided yet. But I'm also going to go ahead and sand this down and see what it starts to look like after that. But I'm going to start doing that up here on the top of the piece. See how it sands down and see how it looks. Went ahead and parted off the lid here. This is going to be a rather small box, but it should still hold a set of dice nicely. And did get the lid parted off. Got me a little tenon around the outside there. If it'll focus, there we go. Got me a little tenon around the outside so it'll actually fit down inside the box. And got the inside hand sanded up to a 320 grit. So it's decently smooth right now, but I'll do some more on that and see what we can't do. But the outside of that just looks kind of cool. Epoxy will fill that in when I actually line it and coat the inside of it. And then there's the bottom. So, actually, I don't know. Come over here. We've got this one that could be for Carl. Or whatever in the hell this one turns into.
I said that one.
This one for Carl?
Mm-hmm.
So this one for Durf, it's the only one I got left.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's see if we can mount this bad boy up, see what the hell happens. So I'm going back through my phone and checking out all the footage and everything, and then I realized that all the footage that I took of making this last cup, this last box, there's the lid, there's the box, inside, even though I'm standing in my own shadow here, you can kind of see it down in there. All the footage of me making this last box is gone. Kaput. Gone. Just poof. Nothing. And I knocked over the one for Tug, Kurt, whichever. So it's got a whole bunch of shavings from resin and cedar and all sorts of stuff all over it. So I'm going to have to wait for all the coating on the outside and everything to dry, and when I get home from work tomorrow, it's going to be getting all this down, sanding it down, and redoing all the coating again. We now have the final coat of epoxy drying on all of these, and only a little bit of touch-up work left to do. This is now Sunday morning, so yeah, I can see there I got a little bit of touch-up. You can see where it's not so shiny right there. Got a little bit of touch-up there, a little bit of touch-up on the bottoms. A couple of them. That one actually looks pretty good. This one here. Joe's over there. I just got to get cleaned off. The lid for... That's the lid for this one. That one. And then the lid here for this one. And the lid for this one. But once I get those sanded down a little bit, and then a little bit of touch-up, and they'll be done and hopefully dry enough to be mailed out and get on to the boys tomorrow morning. Alright guys, we're back out here in the garage. Got done with the boxes, got the finishing touches on them, and got the little special toppers that I was telling you all about earlier, which I think you might be kind of impressed with these because it does fit the situation. And here we have them. From left to right, we've got Carl's, Durf's, Joe's, and Tug's. Which, going down here, you can see the one for Carl. I'll go ahead and pick it up. Carl, Brian, whichever one, whatever you're actually wanting to call him here, but with a K. But we've got his box here, which it's nice, clean, straight lines, but it's still got some flaws in it, kind of like his character. And the blue D20 on the 20 side up right there. Then we've got Durf's, made from the resin and leftover cedar shavings with the one piece of resin that I do kind of like how it made that ring right around the top there, kind of fitted in there. And the green D20 on 20, of course. Joe's box with the purple D20. And then the one for Tug. Looks like a barrel. Kind of fits with the whole Drunken Master thing going on there. But I didn't smooth this one out. I didn't finish it off as much. It's just a little dirty on the bottom. Didn't smooth this one out as much. And in honor of the lucky little halfling, we got the Nat 1 up on the top. Just to kind of go along with it. I left it kind of rough and tumble, just like Tug is. Well, the character is portrayed. Yep. It's still kind of sticky right now, so it's kind of sticking to my hand, or sticking to my finger when I'm trying to hold the lid down on it. But there we have it, guys. Hope you enjoyed the little project that I was able to make up for the YMIAT and the Tavern guys. Just these 4 little dice boxes. I will be putting a link to their stuff down in the comments below. I will also be putting in links to the tools that I've actually used, as well as some of the products and everything like that. I'll be putting links to them down in the comments as well. Do hope you liked the video. As always, critiques, comments on how I can actually make these videos better for everybody, always welcome. And if you'd like to hang in there, I'm going to try and get a video up about once a week. And so if you like seeing what I'm doing, like to see me advance through this little adventure that I'm going out here on, then please like and subscribe. And if so, we'll see you next time.